You know, a lot of the heroes of faith, we see their exploits, we see their deeds, and we stand in awe and we say, wow, look what God did through them. But what we often don't do is we don't look at the testing of their faith. We don't look at the things that they had to wrestle through, the things they had to experience in order to do the great things that they did for the Lord. And don't think for a second that we will ever achieve greatness or a testimony in our generation unless we overcome the testing of our faith. Unless we overcome the trials and tribulations, the slander and accusation of the enemy that tells us it's impossible. It's impossible for you to walk with God. It's impossible for you to be free from your sin. It's impossible for you to turn this tide of wickedness in this culture. Because I think it parallels the testing of our faith right now, today, in this culture. And we're going to look at Psalm 11. And in Psalm 11, what you actually have is King David is responding to these counselors, his own men who are with him, fighting for righteousness and truth, goodness and beauty, for the fear of the Lord in his day. And these men come to David and speak to David. And this, what we read, is David's response to these men. Or will you let fear overwhelm your heart? And David wrestling with this. And don't think for a second that he didn't wrestle with it. Don't think that in the flesh he wasn't seeing the very same things that his counselors were seeing. And we can't throw any stones at the counselors either, can we? I mean, they were with David. They were fighting for truth. They were fighting for righteousness. They were fighting for the kingdom. But they had lost heart because the enemy looked too great. But what David is saying is really this: the Lord will rain down fire and brimstone upon the wicked. The meaning there is not, we always put that to some future day, don't we? But he meant, no, the Lord will rain down fire and hailstone upon the wicked. He will fight this battle. He will win this war. If you will dare to believe and you won't quit fighting, if you will not give up, you will see God himself is the author and perfecter of our faith. God himself is the one that brings the victory. Not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord.